Turn on the right switch and she will chase you. She won't feel manipulated. It would seem as if it was her own idea. Why? Because you have planted something in her mind. Want to learn this trick? Well, follow me closely. A woman will chase you not because you asked, but because you changed how she thinks. She won't chase you because you tried harder. She won't chase you because you explained yourself better. And she definitely won't chase you because you begged for attention. If she ever starts chasing you, it will be for a very different reason. It will be because you planted something in her mind that quietly refuses to leave. A feeling she can't fully explain. A question she can't close. A presence that stays even when you're gone. And the strangest part, she won't feel manipulated. She won't feel tricked. She will feel like it was her idea all along. What I'm about to show you isn't taught in dating books. It isn't something you learn in psychology courses, and it's not something most men even think about. Because this operates below conscious awareness in the part of the mind where attraction actually forms. By the end of this, you'll understand how certain men trigger a psychological loop that keeps a woman thinking about them even when they're not there, while other men fade into the background. No matter how hard they try, miss even one part of this and you become just another forgettable face in her scroll. Let's start with something most men get completely wrong about desire. 1. Desire does not respond to effort. Desire doesn't care how much you try. It doesn't reward consistency, and it certainly doesn't respond to good intentions. Desire responds to experience, specifically the experience of something that feels emotionally unfinished. When something feels complete, the brain closes the file and moves on. But when something feels unresolved, the mind keeps returning to it again and again and again. Like a song that stops before the final note, like a story that ends mid-sentence. That unresolved feeling creates psychological gravity. And most men destroy this without realizing it. They over-explain. They overshare. They close every loop. They answer every question. They remove every mystery. And in doing so, they make themselves mentally disposable. The most powerful influence isn't what you give her. It's what you almost give her. What you hint at. What you leave just out of reach. You become the thought she can't finish. The question she can't close. The presence her mind keeps circling. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And when you react to her curiosity by revealing too much too soon, you are reacting from weakness. You are not letting the tension build. You are collapsing it before it has time to mature. But when you react with restraint, with the wisdom to know that mystery is more valuable than disclosure, you are reacting from strength. And that strength is what makes her want to know more. Let's go deeper. 2. She doesn't fall for who you are. She falls for who she imagines you to be. Here is a hard truth most men never accept. A woman does not fall for the full version of you. She falls for the version her mind constructs. When you reveal everything about yourself too quickly, you give her facts. And facts are limited. They can be evaluated, compared, judged. But when you create space in how you present yourself, something powerful happens. Her imagination activates. And whatever she builds inside that space feels personal because she built it herself. Every woman carries an internal image of the man who would truly captivate her. Not a specific face. Not a specific job, but a pattern. When you leave enough room, she projects that pattern onto you. Not because you match it perfectly, but because you allowed her mind to complete the picture. This is not deception. It's psychological alignment. You are not selling yourself. You are giving her the space to discover you. And discovery always feels deeper than persuasion. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. And when her thoughts are colored by the image she has built of you, that image becomes more real to her than anything you could have told her directly. She is not falling for you. She is falling for the version of you that exists in her mind. And that version is always more compelling than the real one because it is shaped by her desires, not by your limitations. 3. How to trigger this without saying much. You speak less than expected. You answer questions without turning them into speeches. You let silence breathe instead of rushing to fill it. She asks what you do. You don't deliver a resume. You give a fragment. I solve problems most people avoid and then you stop. Now her mind is working overtime. What problems? Why? How? And here's the key. Whatever she imagines will always be more compelling than anything you could have explained because imagination has no limits and words do. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus also taught that no great thing is created suddenly. And the curiosity that draws her to you is no exception. It is created through the accumulation of moments where you choose to hold back, where you choose to let her wonder. Each moment of mystery builds on the last. And as you build that mystery, she becomes more and more drawn to you. The more she wonders, the more she invests. The more she invests, the more she wants to know. And the more she wants to know, the more she chases. For the power of delayed revelation. Most men make a critical mistake the moment they feel interest. They rush to show it. They try to secure it. They reveal emotional investment too early, and every time they do, they collapse the very tension that creates attraction. Certainty kills desire. Desire needs a question. Does he want me? Where do I stand with him? What does he really think? That uncertainty keeps her mind engaged. When you reveal your interest too soon, you remove the mystery before it has time to grow. Delayed revelation doesn't mean being cold. It means not collapsing emotional tension before it has time to mature. When she compliments you, receive it calmly, not with excessive gratitude or validation seeking. When she shows interest, acknowledge it, but don't amplify it. Let her wonder. That wondering creates emotional investment. Every time she tries to decode you, she is spending psychological energy on you, and the more energy she spends, the more value you gain in her mind. Not because you asked for it, but because she gave it. Seneca wrote that true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. When you delay revelation, you are not anxiously dependent on her approval. You are present, grounded, and self-contained. And that self-containment is what makes her want to know more about you. Why pulling back slightly makes her lean in. Men are taught that consistency is attractive, but in attraction psychology, consistency creates comfort, not desire. Desire is born in contrast. Warmth and distance, presence and absence, intensity and stillness. The brain does not register constants. It registers changes. If you are always available, availability becomes invisible. If you are always warm, warmth becomes background noise. But when your presence comes and goes with purpose, your absence becomes noticeable. And when absence becomes noticeable, curiosity begins. This is not cruelty. This is calibration. One moment you are fully present, attentive, grounded, emotionally connected. Then you step back. Not dramatically, not angrily, but naturally. Not long enough to disappear. Just long enough to be felt. And when you return, you bring the same depth again. Now something shifts inside her. She has felt the connection. She has felt the space. Now she is aware of both. And awareness is what transforms attraction into attachment. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus also taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When you pull back and she leans in, you are not manipulating her. You are responding to a natural psychological pattern. The contrast is what creates the pull. Why this works on a deeper level. For thousands of years, women had to be selective. Resources were limited. Safety mattered. Choosing the wrong partner carried serious consequences. So the female brain evolved a filtering mechanism, a test. Is this man valuable, or is he trying too hard to prove that he is? When you chase, you fail the test. When you overperform, you fail the test. When you seek validation, you fail the test. But when you move through your life with internal stability, purpose, and emotional self-sufficiency, her subconscious flags you as different. Not because you demanded attention, but because you didn't need it. And needlessness is deeply attractive. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you stop needing her validation, you are exercising that power. You are not letting her attention or lack of it dictate your state. You are grounded in yourself, and that grounding is what makes her want to be close to you. Emotional anchoring through contrast. The men women remember are not the most consistent. They are the most emotionally distinct. They made her feel something specific and then removed it long enough for her to notice. She doesn't remember the men who were always there. She remembers the one who came in strong, left her wanting, then returned when she least expected it. This creates emotional landmarks in memory, and memory is where attachment lives. A quiet example. I once observed a man at a social gathering. We'll call him Marcus. Marcus wasn't loud, wasn't flashy, wasn't dominating the room. But when women spoke to him, something subtle changed. He listened without rushing. He responded briefly. He held eye contact longer than expected. Then mid-conversation, Marcus politely excused himself. Not because he was bored, not because he was rude, but because he had nothing to prove. The woman he was speaking with spent the rest of the night glancing in his direction. Not because he impressed her, but because he left her uncertain. 3 months later, they were together, and when asked what he did differently, he said something simple. I didn't try to make her like me. I made it difficult for her to forget me. Seneca wrote that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Marcus did not waste his time trying to impress her. He spent his time being present, being distinct, and letting her mind do the rest. And that is what made her chase him. The real requirement most men ignore. None of this works if you are pretending. You cannot fake detachment while being internally desperate. Women are exceptionally sensitive to emotional incongruence. If your silence is forced, it will feel empty. If your calm is fake, it will feel cold. This only works when it is real. You must actually be invested in your life, your mission, your growth, your direction. Her attention must be a bonus, not a necessity. If that's not where you are yet, build that first. Because the most powerful men don't perform attraction, they generate it as a side effect of who they are. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus also taught that no great thing is created suddenly. And the self-sufficiency that makes you attractive is no exception. It is created through the accumulation of small choices, each one building on the last. Each time you choose to focus on your purpose rather than her approval, you build that self-sufficiency. And as you build it, it becomes part of your presence. And that presence is what she will be drawn to. So, how do you apply this today? Leave interactions before they peak while energy is still rising. Respond to messages when you genuinely have space, not instantly by default. Let silence exist without rushing to fill it. Answer briefly, but with depth. Reveal slowly. Move calmly. And above all, stop trying to be chosen. Start becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to be. Because when you stop chasing attention, attention begins finding you. And that's not a trick. That's alignment. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When you cultivate thoughts of self-sufficiency, purpose, and emotional independence, your soul reflects that. And women will see it. They will feel it. And they will be drawn to it. Because in a world of men who are desperate, a man who is free is a rare and precious thing. Be that man. Build that life, and watch how everything changes. If you found value in this, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let me know which part resonated with you the most. I'll see you in the next one.